But I think what what probably would bother me the most about all this, as far as like this illegal, attack of injustice, private militias, all connected to envious artists and influential figures. It's just one massive crime, and it's just one without a resolution still to this very second. It's all illegal. And it's been happening from when I first noticed it around 2014. And I'm an eyewitness of it. So, that ain't the purpose of this one. I guess the purpose of this one was like, it's probably lamentation. Lamentation, lamenting. It's like dirge. Because what bothered me the most, about all this, like everybody see this scam was to paint over me and, thus, in a nutshell, take away the influence for God that I was able to have. And what bothers me the most is all throughout history, man, like, even the last couple decades, could have been the last 30 decades, 40 decades. It's just whenever, even recent times, like it was a point in time though in history, man, where it was like people just had like this, they in deep inside, I know people knew that they were expecting, God to do a great work. They were expecting a type of close, like it was an expected ending, like it like in a way, like they knew that something that artistic, they knew it was an artistic spark that was just coming, to the world. They knew it, they anticipated it, and people knew in like earlier times that that's what they were dependent on, you feel me, for like a whole lot, like for that, that motivation, all the things that art normally accomplishes. And things that it has still accomplished, throughout the years, throughout the world, at one point people was looking for that, but on a godly note, like subconsciously even. And people knew it was coming and they felt it in their heart, They was like, no matter what, they know they have this to look forward to, or they have that to look forward to. They know ultimately everything is going to come to a head, or something great going to happen because God is good. We believe, we trust, we have faith in God. And what bothered me most is all this stuff that happened, all those people, when they realized that, they that's, what they were waiting for, you feel me? It came, it was there, God manifested, his power in a way that would answer prayers and kept his promise. And he did it, and now that they recognize that, the sad part about it is now they're forced to deal with another shocking revelation, you feel me? Or another shocking realization, and it's very, very tragic, and that's what my pain really stood for. So just my existence, me being here, me existing in any form, especially my works, my fruits, them by their fruits is in the Bible. My fruits is manifest. People can see clearly what type of man I always had been, throughout the course of while this stuff was heavy stuff was happening to me simultaneous. They seen what kind of man I am, what kind of person I am, what I believed in, what I stood by, that what my substance was, like the content of my character and things of that nature. That's the point of all of my material. As a man thinketh, so is he. And then the mouth speak the things that's in the heart. So, you can't, it ain't no way to fake anything. Especially in the light. Everything transparent. All my stuff there face, it's right there open faced and it's able, And that's the way that I am as an artist, as an influence and everything. And, it's especially, and it's painful because it's like, just my, like, for one, hold on, just my, like I was just saying, me being there, me existing and everything, people could see me interact with my stuff and everything, that in itself, like, it saves a lot of people pain, on spiritual levels, and even things that they don't realize now, but it was set in later. So me existing right now really saves a whole lot of people a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. But but others don't understand it. And what really annoying is that, those people that's trying to destroy my work, they trying to hide my stuff, take my stuff, illegally, some kind of way, just take my stuff, something, subject me to something that the next artist not being subjected to for absolutely no reason, which my testimony proves and shows. So you got people that's out there really trying to like destroy my stuff, You know what I'm saying? Like, it's obsessively, like, straight out the pits of hell. Like, it's really, and I've been fighting all this time to have a ministry for God in a country under God. And it's especially annoying because it just doesn't go nowhere. It's like, it's always there. You know, it's like a looming evil demon cloud. And, you know, and it causes you to get more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? Because the duration of time accompanying the things that already had transpired in previous seasons, and then the fact that you forced to acknowledge the reality that it still hasn't changed in spite of national and global awareness brought to it. You know, so it's like something is, and you know, it doesn't make you as afraid, you know what I'm saying, as it does, like, extremely, you know, like, it's aggravating because I'm trying to do something for God, and then somebody's trying to take and undo everything that I do. You know what I'm saying? And they've been doing that for years. And now it's like on the main frame, you know what I'm saying? So, and my stuff is for the saints and Christians. That's mostly people who benefit from my testimony, witness to Jesus Christ. Mostly people benefit from it is Christians. Mostly, and then also the fact that I'm an author. You're talking about writer. You know, it's tons of different writers and authors, you know what I'm saying? And you can pull up tons of bestsellers, man, with a whole bunch of offensive stuff in it. You know what I'm saying? If we just look at it technically, you know what I'm saying? But my stuff is not like that. My stuff is not offensive. It's just normal observations of life of an individual for you know, following Christianity. You know what I'm saying? In America. I mean, why can't my stuff exist? And you got people with stuff go way back, you know what I'm saying, that never was subjected to this magnitude of gravity. And even from my same time period, you feel me, that's not ever subjected to the magnitude of gravity or the things that I've been subjected to. And so, you know, it's really weird, man. I just, but yeah, man, those people that, you know what I'm saying, try to like destroy my stuff, man, they cruel, man. They cruel and inhumane, you feel me? They cruel and heartless individuals, man. You know, so whether it be influential figures or whatever, because, you know, to know what I stand for, what I mean to so many people that follow God, you feel me? To do, you know, to make it to a point where it's like to break the spirit of those peoples. You feel me? That's like an exclamation point to the last 23 years of things that already have happened. You feel me? Like if I, you know what I'm saying? In just the last 7 years and 3 years alone, you know, it was people that love God and they loved my stuff. You know what I'm saying? We can't take God out the equation. You feel me? They can't be like, they're going to do this to these people because they support me. Now they doing this to these people because they follow God. You feel me? And that's the situation, you know what I'm saying? So regardless of what somebody released, somebody religious belief might be bad for me, or they might be antichrist. That's fine, because last time I checked, you know, as far as like in the statutes of the country, I'm not the smartest man in the world, but you know what I'm saying? Religious freedom is a part of everyday life. So what are they saying? Like that they chose their religion to be Baphomet or Antichrist. That's fine. But that means that the country has a natural obligation to protect civilians for serving their gods. You know what I'm saying? My God is Yahweh, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's the same thing with a lot of people. They shouldn't secretly, formally, or informally attack somebody on the basis of their religious belief. You feel me? And that's what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And me knowing what I've been through, for somebody like we talk about, like, you know, destroying my stuff. You know what I'm saying? My original innovative material is no reason whatsoever for me to be subjected to anything different than what other artists have not been subjected to, even around the time period when all this was happening. You know what I'm saying? People was making their money off of my situation secretly. You feel me? Like the things that I was going through and stuff like that. And then they got their stuff, they put it in, they stuff in the history books, boom, beat out. It's a done deal. You feel me? Well, I'm not a rapper. You feel me? I'm not like a artist like on that level. You feel me? I'm an author. You feel me? So my tradition and means of expressing myself and the resources and things that was available to me was different than what those people got. So just because they were able to quickly, you know what I'm saying, speak on say certain things or do certain things, and then have the country just close in around it to secure it and immortalize it. I didn't have that. You feel me? I've been fighting just to exist all these years. You know what I'm saying? As an author, you know what I'm saying? I had multiple platforms because I couldn't have just one. Because if I had just one, put all my eggs in one basket, they destroying my platforms to try to hide my talent so they'll be able to successfully scam me. A scam of which also has been made manifest and as globally and nationally, you feel me, awareness brought to it. I broke it down, all the steps. I caught it real time. That's why it was yet developing. And then I also watched my stuff and witnessed my stuff be seen by the whole nation and the whole world. You feel me? And that was years ago already. You feel me? When that happened. So in the last 3 years, when I got reliable platform, you know what I'm saying, what I thought was before they infiltrating it. So I mean, they're completing a crime like right here. Like they're constantly trying to complete a crime. You got people in high powers and positions and stuff, man, that's actively facilitating this junk, and it's a strategic, specific attack on a person that don't even deserve it. They're attacking my platforms. They're attacking my stuff, trying to hide my testimony, trying to hide the truth about my work, that it did not fit into the slanders, because then they don't want that truth to get out, because it's going to show a harsher, more darker reality, that this was indeed a premeditated joke campaign or a smear campaign. It was all premeditated framings, stagings. Like I said, all the way from when I was young, they've been trying to get me in a bad positions for my color or for my skin tone. You feel me? They allow these antichrist militias and things to destroy, my humanity. You know what I'm saying? To demoralize me, dehumanize me. They turned me into an asset informally. You feel me? So it's a lot of different ways I can go with this. But the bottom line is with this one, you know what I'm saying? My pain mostly stemmed out from my artistic record, because that's what I was called for. Artistic, things, and all of this became my art. It was to the point where my art should have been my testimonies there. You feel me? Because of the things that were allowed to happen to me. So I was forced to turn my attention on the reality that was dead in front of me, violently forcing itself in my face. You know what I'm saying? I didn't understand what was going on or what was happening, who it was or why it was happening. I just knew I just knew what I saw. You know what I'm saying? I knew the whole time I'm following Jesus Christ. So I know that common sense to tell me whatever this is, it has to be because of that. You feel me? And that's what it had to have been, because it was nothing literally I did to bring this on myself. As my testimony proves, you know what I'm saying? And my stuff is proof. You know what I'm saying? It is proof. It is, it's proof. That's what it is. And considering the resource, it's cruel and inhumane to the man that I had did, you know what I'm saying? That's like, man, let me think of a good analogy. Like, that's so cruel and inhumane. It's like, let's say, for instance, man, like you see a homeless person, you know what I'm saying? Let's say a homeless, somebody that's less fortunate or something. And actually, I could pretty much be reality. I could just be real about it. It's just like, say, if you see somebody less fortunate and okay, they're also, I don't know, they're getting beaten. Let's say they're getting beaten by somebody or beaten by, like, I don't know, 1,000 people or something. You know what I'm saying? They getting beaten and all this stuff. That's like, and then, okay, at the end of it, somehow they survive. So somehow they still there after everything, all the smoke clear out. And it's like somebody coming up on a situation, but they got there too late. And it's like, when they get there, it's like, somebody want to help the person. They see the person, what happened to them and everything. And they first on the scene. And that's like them saying to the person, it's like them, let's say chastening the victim. That's like them chastening the victim or scolding, you know what I'm saying? Scolding the victim because they did not have security. You feel me? Like, it's weird. Like, it's kind of like that. Like, you should have had, you know what I'm saying? That's like somebody shaming a homeless person that's getting beat by thousands of people, or just something, I don't know, that somebody just wanted their, I don't know, they might have had some cool shoes or something. I don't know, whatever. But they wanted them. And then it's like, that's like, whoever comes to try to help the person say that you should have had security. Therefore, you know what I'm saying, what happened to you doesn't matter, because you should have had security, or you should have had, some form of defense, or you should have had, a camera that costs, $1 million. You should have had that $1 million camera, but because you did not have that $1 million camera, you know what I'm saying, then you don't deserve, you still don't deserve to exist. So it's like, you that less of a person for, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it totally overlooked the what's important there. It's like, I did the best I could with what I had. You know what I'm saying? So it's people that were saying things like that, like, as if, my testimony was not substantial or wholesome. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what I went through with that testimony. You know what I'm saying? They don't know the struggles I faced. That's all I know about my life. You feel me? That's what my life is. That's what I've known as life. You know what I'm saying? The substance of my testimony. I value it because of what I've gone through with it. You know, while simultaneous to the things unfolding and happening, extreme violence and things I did not deserve. Just endless, ever present, not going nowhere. No matter who you call, what you say is always there. You know, no recognized. I didn't do anything to nobody, period. You know, my face clean. I wasn't on no kind of street scenes. You know, it's just weird. You know, it's just a weird situation, you know, and it was to absolutely exterminate a person. But then when people look deeper, then they'll see that it was part of a long-standing, larger, premeditated situation. And then those who really got a mind, then they see it's a far larger situation that encapsulates all that. And then if you want to go higher than that, it's even a bigger situation. And that situation is spiritual warfare. So they see the events that's happened to me in the last 7 years and the last 3 years are the same thing that's been happening for the last 23 years. And then even in my correspondence for the last, who knows, you know what I'm saying? Like it's been like a strategic attack, but all I can prove the last 7. And I mean, with the best, I mean, given the circumstance, that's the best you can do. And that should be good enough. You feel me? But I mean, I feel like those that, you know, suffer, you know what I'm saying? That's what, I mean, you know, I feel the pain of those that, you know, that were looking forward to, you know, something, you feel me? That you know, when they came, but then this is what happened, you feel me? So it's like, you know, I can relate, I can put myself in their shoes, because I ain't gonna lie, God was really, it's so many possibilities, greatness, good stuff, man. There ain't no problematic, non-combative, great, awesome, epic, you know what I'm saying, great stuff, man, that just was like, just in the awesome, feel me? It was just in the, you know, making, in the process, it just sitting there, you feel me? And it's gonna be sitting there forever now, you know, because of what happened. So it's worse for them. And then those that don't realize, some don't even know what they missed, or they don't know what's really happened. Then, you know, it's like, well, you know, it still sucks though, because on a spiritual level, a whole lot of good was that, you know, a whole lot of good stuff, godly stuff was actually, you know, just silenced, you know, forever. For no reason other than somebody else's covetous. And things, superficial things like envy and things that shouldn't even matter. It went so far to ensure that God could not, you know, work on the lands or work in the lands. You feel me? Like as far like God's work, like his restoration and, you know, spiritual, you know, that spark, you know, that's that artistic, I call it artistic revolution. That's what was supposed to happen. You feel me? And that's what was supposed to have or be happening now. You feel me? But it's like the Baphomet do everything and try to do everything in advance to kill it. It's absolutely satanic, man. But that's what the artistic revolution was. It was that thing that people just knew in their heart, in their soul, that it was just something great was coming. You know what I'm saying? That because art is what keeps the world together, you know? Art, I mean, it's often not really esteemed to the extent where it is, but without art, man, the world would be a real great place. It'd be a dull place. And what God was going to do was just turn everything upside down in a good way, you know, but you got people, evil people that just think of themselves and their own household, you feel me? And they was thinking they was doing everything possible, you know, for decades, you feel me? To ensure that whatever was coming, you know, they had their hands in it. You feel me? They had room in it, or that they profit or benefited from it. Even though it wasn't the kind of situation where that would be a fact of where it should have happened. You feel me? It was actually something better and bigger than that. You feel me? But I don't know if it's lack. He said, God save, you know, for lack of knowledge, his people perish. So that might have been the situation. They just wasn't wise to know what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Or how big or how thorough what they did has really crippled and sabotaged the world forever. And not just one land, but for what God was going to do and the good for the whole humanity, it was just a spark, you feel me, like a seed. And that seed was no doubt going to flourish, in all ways, because God was going to supernaturally make it. But it was all for everybody's betterment. But, one of those spilled milk situations, feel me? But if you ain't spilled the milk, then you ain't got nothing to worry about. Just stay strong in the faith, in faith and believe in the Lord. But yeah, that's mainly what my pain was. It was with those people that don't realize, or the gravity of the situation. So I'm trying to like de-emphasize the situation. It's not really something to de-emphasize because it ain't nothing more coming. You know what I'm saying? There ain't nothing more after this. No more artistic revolutions or none of that. It's all downhill from here because of all of this for the last decades or whatever. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's a lot of crazy stuff going on, man. But I mean, my main interest was my stuff, my goal, my life. You feel me? My things, my work for God. You feel me? And that's what I'm still focused on for as long as I'm here. And I'm defending that from the devil. It's really that simple.